Letters of John Nelson Darby, Volume 1, Letter 274E, of 1031. p. 459, A.B. Pollock, Dearest brother, I was very glad to hear from you, and I reply, though as to mere news I have not much to communicate. While in the West I had no letters, and I have replied to those I found here on arriving, and let brethren know as to the work. I am here only in passing, going east after a pretty hard campaign beat with the weather, roads, and being unwell, but the Lord helped me through. If there were anyone who could undertake it through the gifts God has given, a younger man would be better. You may ask, have you them then? I answer, I have the desire to serve, and have done what I could. It requires a person able to bear as well as to do. But there is progress, thank God. Of all the evils, and in this sense difficulties, loose principles, what has got the name of neutrals is the worst. In certain respects they are worse in this country than in England. In England many of them deny the Church. Here they receive all these truths, and even exaggerate them, take the ground some did in Ireland, outre views of brethren as to grace. The leading and most influential one holds Bonner's doctrine in the main, and accepts persons denying the immortality of the soul, the pest of this country, and those who follow him teach it in one place at least, though not wishing it to be known that they hold it. One preacher, out from among the neutrals in England, through himself, openly avowing it to myself, among those that hold this, though saying he did not hold it, but that there was no fixed truth to judge by, and when I said we must have the truth, quoting John, whom I love in the truth, he said, what is truth? It was in one sense then a mercy, for we were pestered with them, and it will keep them as a distinct thing apart. My horror of this loose system is daily increasing, the utmost largeness of heart when, as to which people have to be fully persuaded in their own minds, the faith is not in question. But the faith of God's elect I must look for, and nothing inconsistent with it. The efforts to charge me with NS doctrine have only made me stronger and more decided, as being an effort of the enemy to try and swamp this. The condition of the states spiritually, indeed, every way except money-making, is frightful. The common course for Christians is to go to balls, etc., and enter fiercely into politics, though there are exceptions, assassinations of daily occurrence in the large towns, so that the newspapers do not put them in, unless from some special circumstance. But that they have had enough of it, there would probably be a war again, they speak of it openly. I do not expect it, they have too recently felt what it is, but all is confusion and ill-feeling. Thank God, I pass through it a stranger and a pilgrim, meet sincere kindness and opportunities of work, for myself, have only to be thankful for what I met with, I need not say, had no more to do with such things than you in England, only testifying when the question arose that the Christian is not of the world at all. The word has little authority, but God is working. I am, D.V., going east, not very sanguine as to any great apparent result. Excitement with an attractive preacher would easily be, but steadily walking as not of this world is another thing. Tracts and books of brethren go out very freely, the vast majority of what go out, go to the States, though they become just double in price. I think some steps will have to be taken to print in the States. In general, the gatherings, as is common, after the first reception of new truth which gathered them, have had a measure of sifting in one form or another and are going on more happily after it than before. We have a trial here, less known in England, moving about, going to the States to get work, etc. This, of course, tends to unsettle the gatherings, sometimes forming a new nucleus where there is energy of faith. Out of Canada, it is now in a measure planted in the West, but all is to do there. May the Lord graciously work. All through the States the truths are drawing attention. Ministers come even here to see what it is. Alas, how feeble we are as a testimony. I read, be careful for nothing, and I do look to the Lord, but I am, alas, feeble at intercession, that is always for me a bad sign as to myself. I fancy often that I shall soon, if still here, settle down quietly in some place, but who, awaiting the Lord's coming, will give himself up to the work? You have thus an account of the moral circumstances in which the work is, otherwise it is pretty much as elsewhere. I did not do all I hoped in the West, being kept by the work in some places, but I had some opportunities one did not expect. Your affectionate brother. Toronto, October, 1866. 51274E.